Welcome back, guys, to another video.
I'm Batman.
Did you guys hear something?
I'm Batman.
I don't know what that is.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Ah!
Hi, welcome back to video. Today I have my guest Bruce. Batman. His name is
I'm Batman.
He's Batman. He's Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm the Knight. The Joker. The Joker is mine. I will not stop until I get him. Is that a camera?
Yeah, that's a camera.
He's watching us.
No.
He's watching us through the camera.
He's not watching.
I'll get you. I'll get you, Joker.
All jokes aside, welcome back. Today, I'm Christian Bingham from Filmham Studios, and joining me today is my buddy Colin Thompson. And we're going to be making a Batman suit from the Dark Knight. First, I want to tell a little bit of a story just to get a feel for why, and it's actually kind of hilarious. But if you want to skip to it and just go to the tutorial, then just hit this timestamp right here, and you can skip us talking about it.
You don't need to hear our yapping.
Yeah, I think it's funny, but it is what it is. So, Colin and I went road tripping this summer, and we went down to St. George, and we stopped at a gas station, and I bought these stupid-looking Batman sunglasses, and Colin, he wore them the entire time, nonstop. I actually don't think he took them off. He still has them. He's still got the glasses, and they're awesome. They are. But we're sitting in the car, and we're driving back, and he has these on, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make you a Batman suit. I'm going to make a whole suit. And he was like, what are you talking about?
It's whatever. He won't do it.
And so I did. And so here's how I did it. Let's get into it. I started out by getting this 6mm craft foam that I bought just from my local craft store. And with that, and then also some 2mm craft foam for thinner little detail aspects, I was ready to start going. I printed out some templates from a link that I'll put in the description, and then I cut those out of my foam, and I did that with every single piece. Repeated that step over and over and over for every little piece of foam. And there were a lot. Some pieces had little grooves in them, like this one here. So I'll show you how we made that. I took my marker and my square and started sketching out where I wanted the lines to go. And then using my square as a straight edge, I drew the lines on with my marker and then used my X-Acto knife to score them until they were the right depth. Some pieces, like this one, need to be curved. So I cut a slit, like a triangle, out of it and put glue on both of the inside seams and then pressed it together. Now what this is going to do is create this really nice dome shape, and I put just a little extra glue for reinforcement, but that'll give us a very nice curved, natural looking shape. So another example of a piece that was curved like this is right here. The shoulder piece that I made has this nice little curve in it, just like that. Oh, speaking of shoulder pieces, so I'm really bad at this, and I started making the suit before I decided that I wanted it to be a tutorial video. So I made a bunch of it before I started recording. Here's everything that I did before I started recording, and I'll talk a little bit about them as I go. So obviously we start with our shoulder pieces here. Those are made out of 6mm foam with, as you can see, that little thin 2mm foam and a little lip around the rim that's also made out of the thin 2mm foam. And it's just two pieces of 6mm foam glued together just like that, and it gives us that nice curve. And then next, I also made these back pieces. Those will go on the back of the shoulder blade. Those are also made out of 6mm foam, two pieces glued together, as you can see there. And what I tried to do is I tried to offset the edges there, give it a little raised look, and don't do that. In hindsight, it did not work the way that I wanted it to, and it kind of made it look messy, and I had to clean it up later. The next piece that we had was these little arm pieces. Those will go over the bicep. And these are really simple 6mm inch foam with the little slices that I cut onto there, just like I showed you earlier, scoring those lines. And then I also made this chest plate piece out of a thicker, like 8mm foam. The bat and the little yellow decal you see there are the thin 2mm foam. And it's yellow because that's all that I had, but it still works. We'll paint it later. Next part is arguably my favorite, but it's also the messiest, and that is gonna be sanding. So first off, you're gonna wanna grab your respirator and some safety glasses. Sanding can get very messy. This is my rotary tool that I used. It's a Dremel Light. And then I just went around all the edges, smoothed them out, made them a little bit nicer. As you can see, it kicks up a lot of dust. It's very dirty, so that's why I have the respirator on, is so that I don't inhale all of that and, you know, die or something. I don't know. As you can see, it's very dirty. Dust went everywhere. I got absolutely covered, but it washes out. So right here, I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing. I'm coming along those edges that I cut that were a little bit rougher and sanding them out with the Dremel, and then I'm adding a little bit of a bevel along the sides. Not very much, just enough to make it look pretty clean and nice. So right here we have a piece that is done with it being Dremeled, and then this piece over here is still the rough cut. So you can see already just the difference that that makes with only the sanding versus just the cut piece. Next, we need to make those really cool gauntlets that Batman has. So I got this template, cut it out of 8mm foam, and I cut all these little tiny triangle pieces out of it. And I also got this 2mm foam that I cut this gauntlet shape out of. And the templates for all of this, like I said, are gonna be linked in the description. I got them from another video where he made another Batman suit, and I followed along with that. So we glue that there, and that will go right here on the arm, just like that. And those little pieces are going to curl over, and they will glue together, and that is what will form our gauntlet. But obviously, what's a gauntlet without the little, you know, stabby things that are on there? Like, that's pretty iconic. So we gotta make ourselves some stabby blades. So I got a piece of 6mm foam, and I cut all of these little blade shapes out of it with my knife. And that took a little bit of time just because they're small, and I tried not to cut off the tips and things, but it didn't take forever. So in total, you should have 12 of these pieces, 6 for each gauntlet. Then I took the gauntlet piece out to the Dremel, and I just sanded down the sides and the inside, made sure it was a little bit cleaner, and did the same thing on the blades. I also gave them a little bit of a taper so that they look sharp. And this is when it started to rain on me. Crap, it's raining. Oh, it's coming down. Okay, we gotta get all of the crap inside. So I went back out when the sun was perfectly right in my eyes, and I finished them and got them all looking the way that I wanted to. So now that we're back inside, we can get all of our pieces and we can glue this gauntlet together. So we press that right in the middle there, and then we can put on the 6 blades on this gauntlet. And I'm using just super glue here, and I'm lining them up with those little holes, and it held pretty good. Now that's done, let's just make another one. Just like that, easy peasy. So now we have our 2 gauntlets, and then all of our pieces are ready to be painted. First, before we paint them, this is an important step called caulking. And this is where I take some industrial caulk and a little bit of water, and I water it down, and I smooth it in all of those crevices and just fills in the gaps for painting. So now I'm giving them a little bit of a coat of black paint. Most of the foam was already black, but I wanted them to all be uniform and all be the same. So I sprayed them all black, and there are some pieces that I sprayed gray, but for the most part, they were all black. So this is what it all looks like, laid out, nice and black. So now we're getting into assembling. So for this is a little neck piece that we're going to attach the chest plate onto. And this is going to glue together like that. And then it's going to sit across the shoulders. So I brought Colin over, and he's my model. Obviously you met him. And right now we're taping the suit on just so I get a good idea of where we're gonna glue it later. And apparently my tape was awful because we went through like 8 rolls of different kinds and none of them wanted to stay on. We got them to sit just long enough before they all started falling off that I got a good idea. So we tried something else. Magic. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't work, so we needed to glue them on. So we put a bunch of glue on them, pressed them onto the spandex, let them sit for a couple seconds just for the glue to cure, and then ripped him off his skin.
Colin, how was that process?
You ripped off my skin.
Yeah.
My skin.
I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
Hot.
Caliente?
Muy caliente.
Caliente.
Colin ended up with some glue burn residue, but overall, he was a trooper and he made the process pretty easy.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So here's a look at the suit with all the pieces glued on. Looks pretty nice, we're getting there. We also attached the shoulder plates, arm pieces, and gauntlets using some elastic straps. Overall, Colin was a trooper and it was really a painless process for everybody.
No. You want me to do it to you?
Not
and
really.
See how
I
it
don't
feels?
want to, no.
Then shut your mouth.
And with that, the Batman suit was complete.
Wait. What about my belt, cape, and mask?
Fine.
So to make the belt, I had to make some templates that looked like this. I cut them out and I made a bunch of little pieces out of the 6mm foam. For the actual gauntlet buckle, I printed out this template and traced it onto my foam. And I had to cut it down so that we get all of these little layered pieces out of the foam. And let's glue this all together. And we're left with a pretty nice looking buckle. For some of the accents, I took this foam dowel that I got also from my craft store. I cut it about 3 inches and made a few of those. And now it was time for painting. I got this really nice metallic gold spray paint and I went to work. Now, let's assemble the belt. Before we get into the mask portion, I just want to let it be known that I made an entire cardboard cowl using the templates that you're gonna see, and I didn't like it. So, like, a week before I finished the suit, I decided I'm gonna make a whole new mask. So then I recorded it for you guys, and this is what it looks like, but I made it out of foam this time. I printed out these templates from a website linked in the description, cut them out of foam, and started gluing them together. Now this process was pretty painstaking. I had to be really careful so that the glue wouldn't show through the cracks. Once I did both of those halves, I carefully glued them together. I wanted it to be symmetrical and look really good, and I was really worried. Then I hit that, of course, with some black spray paint and a little bit of gloss finish. And this is the beautiful mask that we ended up with. Looks much better than the cardboard one. For the iconic Batman cape, I went to Joann's and I got a few yards of this really cool looking black fabric. And I had my lovely mother cut out a nice bat shape. And so it gave us this really nice cape. And I attached some Velcro to there and some Velcro to the top of the chest plate that will allow the cape to attach just like so. Right on there, just like this. Well, we took the Batman suit to FanX, and it was honestly a blast. We ran into a couple different Batmans. We found an older Batman and a younger Batman. But I do think that Colin's suit stood out. The best part really was going to get smoothies afterwards, and he wore the iconic sunglasses.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you, Cowl.
Say it. Say my name.
Thank you, Batman.
Batman! That's my name. Batman! Yeah! Now go on.
So as you know, we are Film Ham Studios.
Batman! You need to change it to Batman Studios!
Okay, so we're Batman Studios.
Batman Studios!
Which means we might be making a
I gotta go!
Batman.
Vengeance! I am the Knight! Vengeance!
Gotham needs him. Anyway, thanks for watching and stay tuned for our next video.